Hello, welcome to another video where today I'm talking about lost media because I think it's quite fascinating, but also in another way concerning that, a lot of, media and time is slowly being lost, human history. Sure, it's hard to, preserve everything. There's only so much space in the world, only so much, in terms of resources to, try and preserve things. But, I feel like with lost media, it should probably try to be preserved, you know, all sorts of media because, it shows different, ages of art, of humanity, and, can sort of in a way recount, history and whatnot. So, yeah, I mean, it's more than just probably the digital age, but I'm going to be probably focusing on digital age of stuff, digital media, given, that's, well, where I am, digital, not physical, no discs or tape or whatever, no physical items. But yeah, so lost media is quite interesting, and there's always stuff like horror with lost media, and ooh, spooky stuff. But also it's just generally, stuff gets lost over time, so you kind of want to know why it's lost, there's that curiosity to know what you missed out on, like what did you never get to see that only few people might have actually seen, could be, fascinating and interesting. But yeah, lost media, media gets lost more and more. The reason why I'm, talking about it is because, well, in, YouTube space, you know, videos get, deleted, all the time, or like private to never be, seen again for who knows what, reasons. But yeah, that media essentially becomes, well, lost, unviewable, lost to annals of time, probably to never be seen again. And it's like, you know, how can, this art be, just simply destroyed? Sure, sometimes you might create, cringe things or things you rather forget, but, that's a part of the process of art. You have your times where you do dumb stuff, but eventually, things become more refined. This is why I would not, private anything, you know. I you know, wouldn't, like, I've, you know, with my unlisted things, made them public. So I made more, you know, unlisted things public than, you know, put them into unlisted. The only thing that does come to mind, and let me double check, I did remember to do it right, because it was a part of the thing plan I had. Yes, I did do that. I did remember. But one of the few things that was public that I unlisted was my Unis Honest thing. Because, it was, like, in parody to, well, Ernest Honest, the thing Mark and Ethan created. So, that was, the plan that, by the end it be, an unlisted video, not private, so technically if you've liked it or, put it in a playlist, you can watch it. But otherwise, it is essentially a mystery what is in that video. And that's, kind of the point, that you had a year to see it. The one video that was, purposely hidden by equally, and I've done the opposite more of unlisted videos being public, put in public, made public, because when I was younger and dumb and bright-eyed, wanting to be a YouTuber, I was like, I'm gonna create a Patreon from the very beginning. That's not a wise idea, young me, but I want to do that. So obviously I did that and had many things, that were unlisted, but as a part of, Patreon. But then I was like, well, I'm changing that now, so all the stuff got like, republic in like a day. Or it was like, I republic it all in a day. Well, it was never public anyway, but either way, the unlisted became listed again. Well, not technically again because it was never listed. Anyway, goddamn brain. Anyway, yeah, so all of that, became viewable, became, viewable content. So, yeah, because I was like, there's no real point in hiding it. If these are all watchable videos, like, might as well put them more out into the world. So, yeah. I'm sure I'll do some sort of, more exclusive sort of content again if I, have memberships and stuff. Just, uh, I'll, have to, I guess, have a plan of attack for how I do it with memberships and stuff, what I do, because honestly I can't have anything important, story-wise, like Michael in it, but I probably still want something Michael for members only, given that's, my main thing. And yeah. But yeah, I guess, that's a future thing. Have to think about, and approaching 500 subscribers. Woohoo! Yeah, again, doing a QA. Go to the post. I did a post and put your questions in there. I guess I'll look for them, I guess, in other videos, but if they're not in the post, I might miss them. So be warned. That if you put them like here, I may miss some. No, but probably some. If they're not in the place I intend to see them. But anyway, I'm getting a bit sidetracked now. But yeah. Anyway, where was I going with all this? I guess the point I was trying to make was, I'm a bit strange where I seem to have more things enter the world than hidden from the world. For myself. But, most people would probably hide stuff, and then it's not seen, then, let stuff be seen. So, yeah. So it ends up being that there ends up being, a lot of lost media, and I just repeat myself, but whatever. You get the point. That, a lot of stuff gets lost in, that history, that art. No matter how cringe or not, it's lost, History is lost, and it's kind of a shame, especially if it was, something funny, something entertaining, something potentially meaningful. But sometimes the artist does not see the meaning in their own art because they're too blinded by how the world might perceive it that they just hide the art, which is kind of sad. Kind of sad that. But I guess, that's life. Either way, lost media, stuff will continually be lost, whether it's, actual, digital media or just stuff of the past. Trying to preserve these things, I feel like is important. because there's a lot to learn, you know, from everything and anything. You can always learn, even from something dumb or cringe or whatever, because, you know, life is an experience, and, you know, there's different ways to experience life, so media is one of those ways, so it shouldn't be lost. It shouldn't be lost. But, you know, it does get lost a lot, and, well, you know, because it gets lost, it means that, you know, cool history is lost. And yeah. But it's, you know, stuff will continue to be lost one way or another. I just feel like preserving it would be cool. And there's always, you can briefly mention where lost media's haunted. Don't know why, like, lost media or, like, you know, the secret copy of this has, like, always haunted, but I guess it's just a thing where it's like, you know, maybe there's a reason for it to be lost. Maybe there's a reason. But I feel like that joke potentially, you know, undercuts potentially a point of maintaining media. I mean, it's, you know, funny as a joke, but I feel like, you know, we shouldn't underestimate, you know, information and, you know, lost media. So, hanging all comes down to a point of, I think it should be kept, you know, I think it should stay public, you know, all media should probably be preserved in some fashion, you know. The history of, you know, humanity is important. But, you know, who knows what will happen. Anyway, I think I've probably babbled long enough about lost media. I guess all of this is just food for thought, you know. You know, it might, you know, make people consider, you know, not deleting or probing their own things, because it might seem cringe, it might seem like it wasn't worth your time, but trust me, someone will enjoy whatever you put into the world, whether it's cringe or not, you know. You know, someone will like what you created, you know, even if it's not for everyone, someone will, you know, want to know. And even if it's just one person, you know, that means, you know, it was, you know, something of value, even if it might not seem of any value to you. So, yeah. Either way, yeah, I think I'll stop babbling at this point, but yeah. Lost media is, I guess, you know, fascinating, Yeah, I guess that does it for this talk topic. As peace until the next one. The next one will definitely be Amazing Digital Circus. I wanted to, save it till after episode 5 so I could do it, halfway through the season, since there's going to be supposedly 9 episodes. But I guess we're doing it, slightly before halfway. It's still relatively halfway, but I'm anticipating that, the next time I cover, because I'll probably cover Amazing Digital Circus a couple of times, probably the next time I'll try and cover it, episode 7. Hopefully it doesn't take ages, like, god damn. Like, I don't want to be waiting months and months and months, for episodes. Like at this rate, it feels like it will take, 1.5 years to even get the next 3. Like, that's what it feels like. It shouldn't take that long, like, it shouldn't. But it might. Potentially, if, becomes too scav focused between things, managing, 2 different things at once. Hopefully, focus on what's already established and then move on to the next thing. Hopefully. But yeah, so, this next one will cover the first 4. At some point in the future, probably do one at like episode 7 before, the final 2 episodes, and then, probably do one at the end, so it'll be like 4, 3, 2, it's a countdown, the end of the world. Anyway, enough babbling for me though. But yeah, I guess, that's the next, talk topic, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, that'll be it for this talk topic. Lost Media is interesting. And yeah, peace, thank you, and goodbye till the next one.